Hi, I'm Tim Tuller, Canon for Music at St. John's Cathedral, with a couple words about the music for this Sunday, March 2nd. This Sunday is the last Sunday after the Epiphany, and this is always one of those weeks in the church year that contains some of the best music of the year. It ranks up there with, I'd say, All Saints Sunday and Pentecost as a week that there's just an enormous repertoire of wonderful hymns and choir anthems and organ pieces that were either written specifically for this day or which fit very well into this day before we enter into the season of Lent a few days later on Ash Wednesday. Our prelude and postlude this Sunday both come from the French composer Henri Moulet. Moulet lived from 1878 to 1967, so he's very long-lived. His life encompassed both the late 19th and a good portion of the 20th century. He studied at the Paris Conservatory with Alexandre Guilmant and Charles-Marie Widor, two composers whose names you will see frequently on programs here at St. John's. And his music for organ, while not numerous, it's very representative of the time in which it was written, and it really betrays an incredibly acute understanding of the organ and its capabilities, particularly its potential for color and expressive color in his music. The opening piece is entitled Rosace, and what this piece is doing is attempting to capture the light filtering through the windows of a stained glass in a cathedral, most likely, or a church. And it's a very evocative piece, and particularly the second half, as you listen to it, and you think about sunlight filtering through stained glass windows, it's extremely evocative, and it really does kind of capture that essence. And as such, I think it's a very appropriate piece to play in Epiphany, particularly during the last Sunday of Epiphany. And then our postlude is entitled Caroline Sortie, which is also written by Moulet. This piece was written in 1911. And it shows Moulet at his most exuberant. It's a classic French toccata where we have rapid manual figurations over loud pedal notes, the entire organ roaring away exuberantly. And it makes, again, I think, for an excellent piece to play before we go into the more contemplative season of Lent. Our offertory this Sunday is Behold a Star from Jacob Shining by Felix Mendelssohn. This piece really ranks among at least the top 10, probably the top 5, in my opinion, anthems ever written. And it's not very long, but it's just perfectly written. There's not a single note out of place. There's not a single note that could be improved on. And the first 2/3 of the piece really work to lead us into the final section, which is the chorale, How Brightly Shines the Morning Star. Now that chorale we've sung as a hymn at St. John's. We often sing it during Epiphany. And so that's what this entire anthem is based on. And you'll notice a really interesting thing at the very end of the piece. The organ just kind of trails off into just a very little whisper, and then it's gone. And that is meant to depict the going away of the morning star. And I always like to joke, the morning star is going away until it will come again next year at Epiphany. I hope you enjoy the music this Sunday.